myBurbank Talks presents another edition of The Week That Was and The Week That Will Be, a weekly podcast featuring highlights and commentary on local events and issues taking place right here in Burbank. Now, let's see what's on today's agenda as we join our program.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Hello, Burbank. Craig Sherwood here with you once again from the myBurbank Command Center. And as always, we have a humble request that you like this video and please subscribe to the channel so YouTube continues to recommend this video to others like yourself. And also, think about a channel membership to support us here at myBurbank. You always get to see our videos first that way, so think about it. So last week on the YouTube channel, we uploaded candidate videos of Dr. Emily Weisberg, who is running unopposed for school board, and you actually cannot vote for her due to a county rule about running unopposed. Very interesting. So if you are unopposed, they do not let you put your name on the ballot. So it does not give you the chance to vote for her or even really against her. That's kind of interesting. Also, we had a video with Emma Panero, who is running for city council. Very interesting podcast, a newcomer, but very exciting. She does know the city and she does know the issues. So please check that out. We also did a Coach's Corner video with myself and our co-host, Bob Hart, where we talked to longtime Burbank firefighter, captain, and union president, Lew Stone, who was actually a very successful high school basketball coach back in the day. And Ashley Erickson also did a Women of Burbank video featuring two women who have formed a fantasy book league, Dark and Dirty Hearts. Yes, a fantasy league for books. Very cool. The Word of the Week is also back. We are hoping to get some new gift certificates very soon, and we'll hand them out to winners as soon as they come in. So, let's move on to the week that was. So Thursday last week, gave us one of the few events, and that was the Burbank School Board meeting, and they are basically marking September 21st through 27th as United Against Hate Week. So I'm sure you've seen the banners hanging on the schools, and it's nice to do that. So that was basically the only thing at the meeting that was of any consequence. Friday, Burbank High football played and lost a tough one to Muir, 35-13 at Muir. But we have to give a shout out to Tyler Hudson, who had 14 receptions for 165 yards and a touchdown. Burroughs had a little better luck as they defeated Arcadia 21-13 at Burroughs. A big game for Mateo Tarka as he rushed for 268 yards, 3 touchdowns on 24 carries, and he is only a junior. So big things to come from him next year. That's kind of it for last week. It was a very, very slow weekend. So, very slow week. So what we're going to do is take our quick commercial now. We've got a lot to get into for next week. So we'll be back with you in just a second.
Enjoying the show right now? Thinking you may want to do your own podcast? myBurbank Talks is renting out our podcast studio on an hourly rate. You can do audio podcasts or both audio and video, and even bring in guests to talk with. We will help you get set up on podcast platforms and start a YouTube channel, and we can edit your productions to make you look and sound your very best. If you're interested, please drop us an email at studiorentals@myburbank.com. That's studiorentals@myburbank.com, and we will get back to you. Now, back to our show.
Okay, back with you. So, Monday, which is today, and if you're watching this today, the day this comes out, then you'll know what to do today, or what you can do, or not do, depending on what you want to do, because this is the week that will be. Anyhow, tonight's Planning Commission meeting has been canceled, so there is no planning going on. But there is a housing rights workshop will be held tonight from 6 to 7:30 at the Community Services Building. They'll be talking about fair housing laws, discrimination, and the Burbank Tenant Protection Ordinance, which the City Council passed a while ago. So it might be interesting if you are a renter or even a landlord to go check that out. Tuesday, we do have a City Council meeting this week. It's at 6 p.m. at City Hall. So be advised that the new speaker system will be in place. So don't show up to speak once public comment starts, If you don't call in advance, they will not let you speak either. You have to actually be there in advance of public comment and put a card in, or call in advance of public comment, or they're not going to let you speak anymore. I got a feeling that's going to change down the line because I don't think it's really fair. Somebody's a little late, they're going to be denied the right to speak because they didn't get there at a certain time. Hopefully they didn't have to take a Burbank bus and have to wait all day. So I love the Burbank. I love the Burbank bus. Yeah, I do. Something interesting, though, they're going to meet first in closed session. And about the council district's potential lawsuit by the mysterious Nicholas Gutierrez, who has yet to even prove that he actually exists. He wants to sue for representation, but will not even represent himself. Can you smell a scam? I don't know. I think that city council has to take it seriously to the point of making sure they get their ducks in a row. But it's very interesting that this guy has never shown up. He's been invited to show up. myBurbank has invited him to submit something that we can get his information. Nothing. So, very interesting. So anyhow, like I say, can you smell a scam? There is going to be an introduction of an ordinance prohibiting or carrying any specified items while attending or participating in a public demonstration, rally, protest, picket line, or public assembly. So already on the books, you cannot have items including any length of lumber, wood lath, or any wood products, and any bar, shaft, rod, cable, wire, or other such length of hard metal, hard plastic, or other hard synthetic material. Now, they also want to include, but are not limited to, baseball bats, pepper spray, glass bottles, laser pointers, aerosol spray cans, and other items. So I guess they're worried that if there's protests in the future, they want to make sure people don't have anything on them. Once again, how are they going to know if they have something on them or not? Are they going to search people before a protest? Or are they going to wait till after the person uses it, which is already going to damage somebody or something, and then arrest them at that point? I don't know. But I guess it's good to have more laws in the books, because that's what we need. There's also going to be a review of the city treasurer's investment portfolio. So always, if you understand that type of thing, you should pay attention. It goes right over my head, but Crystal Palmer, our treasurer, does a great job. I fully trust her. She had my vote. She has my vote. There's going to be a discussion and an overview on short-term rental regulations. So right now, the Burbank Municipal Code is generally silent on these kinds of rentals. However, based on research of industry websites and discussions with a consultant that specializes in these short-term rentals, there are an estimated 300 to 400 unpermitted short-term rentals currently operating in the city of Burbank. Enforcement of unpermitted rentals is challenging since short-term rental platforms do not include the property address in the listing. Therefore, issues pertaining to short-term rentals are currently addressed relatively reactively once complaints are filed by the city's Code and Compliance Division. In the last 2 years, there have been a total of 174 code enforcement cases of unpermitted short-term rentals in the city. Further, the city cannot levy their 10% bed tax. They charge hotels and motel guests for stays of less than 30 days, since these short-term rentals are permitted, or unpermitted, I should say. I think it's interesting that, once again, we want to put another regulation onto the books, and we have no way of enforcing it. They right now wait for somebody to call and complain. They say there's 300 to 400 short-term rentals in the city right now, but there's no addresses. Hey, guess what? Maybe pick up the phone and call. Yes, take a little extra time, have one person call and say, I'd like to rent your place. Where is it at? And when they give you the address, there you go. That's how you find out. That's how everybody else finds out. So when you say you can't find out because the addresses aren't listed, well, people don't get a short-term rental and just drive around town until they find something. They pick up the phone and they get the address. So that's one way to get the addresses from these places, is to actually dial the number and find out where it is. But once again, how are we going to enforce it? We're going to hire more people to enforce things? I really, once again, more laws in the books with no ways to enforce them and nothing in place to enforce them. So either hire more people for enforcement or think about what you're doing. It's just, once again, we're putting the horses have left the stable and now we're going to figure out how to fix it. Well, let's fix it while the horses still are in the stable before they run away. I don't know. What do I know? We're also going to have a review of now. This is very, and for most of you people here, they say, well, the mayor of Burbank does this, that, and everything else. Well, not really. That's not how Burbank works. So pay attention to this here, because once again, the council is going to get into this. They're going to talk about how the selection of mayor and vice mayor is now made. So a little background on this. At the January city council meeting, Councilmember Takahashi requested a first step report on City Council's yearly selection process of mayor and vice mayor. The charter of the City of Burbank provides the following in regard to Council's yearly selection of mayor and vice mayor. At the reorganization meeting, the new members shall then be inducted into office, whereupon the Council, as thus newly constituted, shall choose one of their members to serve as mayor. The mayor shall have the same voting power as any other council member. The council shall also choose one of their members to serve as vice mayor, who shall act as mayor pro tempore in case of the absence of the mayor, sickness, or other disabilities. The officials so chosen shall hold the respective offices subject to the pleasure of the council. Okay, yeah, I get it. That's how it works. Every year they select a mayor and vice mayor, and I think some people felt hurt that they didn't be voted for. What's the process? I'm not sure how. Usually, it's all members get a chance to serve, and every year it's somebody different. But it used to be an unwritten rule that the mayor or vice mayor would not be selected that year if they were up for re-election. But that has now been disregarded in recent years. Well, there's no policy. So I like to see that brought back. You can't say you can't be chosen mayor if you're going to run for city council or up for re-election that year. So you can't put on the ballot mayor, or have a rule that says you have to have, say, council member on the ballot. But if you are the mayor and you're running for re-election that year, you have more visibility. So it's kind of an unfair thing. And remember, the mayor has no power all he is a figurehead. He's a figurehead for a year. That's all the mayor is, or the vice mayor is. And every year they just pick somebody else and they move up. Very rarely does somebody get picked as vice mayor and then they don't become mayor the next year. They've really got to piss somebody off on the council to go from vice mayor to nothing. So it's happened, but I just don't think. It's just interesting that they're going to squabble about themselves who gets to be the mayor when, let's say, they'll all get the chance over the 4-year period. But some of them might have to run for re-election. Might have to. It's happened before, where one person's not been selected for 4 years in the council, and they have to be on. They get re-elected, and then of course they get selected. So I don't know. Anyhow, that's Tuesday's council meeting. Let's move on to Wednesday. Start with, Holiday in the Park is going to hold a fundraiser at Tequila's from 11:30 to 9 p.m. and will receive 20% of all the sales. So this is great if you would like to support and stop in and dine and enjoy. You stop in and dine, enjoy the dining room with the great murals, or you can pick up your food and take it home. Either way, the Magnolia Park merchants will receive a donation. But remember to mention the fundraiser and that way they know to credit the 20%. So that's on this coming Wednesday. What else on Wednesday? The Senior Citizen Board will meet at 1 p.m. at the Jocelyn Center, and they'll be talking about their goals, objectives, and review some reports and events. So always good to have the Senior Citizen Board in going on. The Civil Service Board meeting was scheduled for Wednesday, has been canceled. Okay, so no Civil Service Board for all you fans out there. But the Transportation Commission will meet at 5 p.m. at the Community Services Building. They're going to be talking about the Burbank bus performance. Now, the map I showed on there shows that between March and May, that ridership has decreased on all 3 routes. So, interesting. I also read in the fiscal year 23-24, the city received $7.4 million to fund the Burbank bus system. Now, that includes the fixed route, the senior and disabled, and any active transportation. The complete streets plan projects, First Street Class 4 bike lane, and Front Street bikeway. So we got a lot of money for that, that we're putting in our half-cent sales tax. I still like to see the Burbank bus system revamped. We could do better with it, but that's another battle, another day. There's also on Wednesday, because Wednesday is going to be a busy day, there's more on Wednesday this coming week than there was the entire last week altogether. Wednesday, there was also going to be a rent cap meeting on Wednesday from 5 to 7:30 p.m. at Hotel Burbank. So the old former Holiday Inn at 150 East Angelino. You might want to check out the video on our YouTube page if you want to see what it is presented. It'll be the same meeting that they had then, but once again, it's the same information, but you can go ask questions if you have a question that was not asked at that initial meeting. So we don't know what's going to happen yet. The council has not made any kind of decision. They're not leaning one way or another. All it's going to be interesting to see what happens on these state propositions and see what happens with rent control and everything else. So we got a lot of things in flux with that right now. But anyhow, get yourself heard. Find out information. Okay? Easy to complain. Also easy to go find out things. Take an hour and go sit in a meeting. It's not a bad thing. But also now at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, here's something fun for especially business owners and members of the Chamber of Commerce. Community Chevrolet will be holding their 65th anniversary celebration, and there will be a chamber mixer there until 7:30 p.m. So if you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, stop by Community Chevrolet, help them celebrate their 65th anniversary. Chamber mixers are always fun. A lot of members there, a lot of people you can mingle with, see what's going on. We went on Thursday now. The Advisory Council on Disabilities monthly meeting will be held via Zoom from 1:30 to 3 p.m. And then after that, let's see. Also on Thursday, we have ourselves a rock Hulu. Wait a second. Hulu? I mean hula. There we go. Wow, what does that mean? Not only do we have rock hula returning to the Verdugo Aquatic Facility, but that's our word of the week. So once again, send an email to contest@myburbank.com. Use the word hula, Hula, not Hulu like the streaming service, hula, in the subject line, and we'll enter you for a $25 gift card. So there you go. It returns. Anyhow, so Rock Hula is going to return to the Verdugo Aquatic Facility from 4 to 6 p.m. for adults 55 and older. This is a free event for swimming, dancing, music, food, games, raffles, and of course, hula. All right. At 6 p.m. Thursday, the Infrastructure Oversight Board will meet at the Community Services Building. They're going to get an overview of the proposed downtown parking plan and the meters and an update on facility improvements. Friday is Native American Day celebration. So go enjoy American dances, crafts, games, and much more. It runs from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Stout Canyon Nature Center. And guess what? Free. We love free. Okay, the weekend. Saturday, the kitten fair returns to the animal shelter from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We must have kittens galore in Burbank because there are so many kittens. We have to do this every couple weeks. So go get a kitten, unless you have a dog. If you have a dog, ask the dog first. Make sure it's okay. Cats and dogs living together as one. Long story. Sunday, here's something interesting for you. There's going to be a hike. So you can join them on this docent-led hike and learn about the Verdugo Mountains and the wildlife that calls the mountains home. All ages are welcome, and it goes from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at the Stout Canyon Nature Center. So that's up there, near, at the very top of Walnut. Go past the bell, it's up at the top. So if you've never been up there before, it's really a really nice place. And they're also at the start of the trails right there, too. So that's something for you to do. Okay, that brings us to the end. I know that makes you very happy. Very happy. I get that, okay? And do a sound effect for you. Anyhow, that brings you to Craig's comment. And my comment tonight is about endorsements. Because right now, all the candidates are touting endorsements. And I'm going to give you an example here of how ridiculous some of these endorsements are and how you really shouldn't even pay attention to them. Because if you're relying on somebody, wow, this person likes them, I better vote for them. You know what? You're basically a fool. Because endorsements are favors. Please endorse me. Okay. They kind of have no idea what some of these people really stand for. Here's a good example. The Burbank Teachers Association endorsed all the school board members running for re-election. And they endorsed them before the candidate filing period, so they had no idea who else is going to even run against them. But they endorsed the 3 people who were already on the school board. You tell me if that's a good system of endorsing. They never interviewed the other people because they endorsed them. And here's the thing. They endorsed Steve Ferguson, who quit the board and is not even running. So you tell me about endorsements. There's things like the Burbank Republican Party, okay? I'm not going to get into, the politics, but the Burbank Republican Party is not recognized by the Republican Party. I actually sent an email to the San Fernando chapter of the Republican Party to ask them about the Burbank Republican Party and why they had the views they had. They said, we have nothing to do with them. We don't support them. Anything. So, once again, endorsements. And you get these people in office, and all the people in office to say, yeah, okay, put me down for endorsement, put me down for endorsement. I really think you should do your homework. Now, myBurbank has done a lot of podcasts with a lot of candidates. Our podcast ran about 40 to 50 minutes. And we talk not only about their background and who they are and where they come from, but we bring up all the issues and let them say it in their own words. We don't cut them off. We let them talk. At the end, they do their own little spiel for your vote. That's how you find out who to vote for. Do some research. Your vote is important. Your vote is not only your right, but it's an obligation. Don't complain about things if you don't vote. Don't complain about how things run if you do vote and you didn't research your candidate. City council elections, school district elections actually do come down to a few votes. We're not talking millions of votes here. We're talking about very specific numbers. So find out about the candidates. Don't rely on somebody who was a mayor in, 20 years ago, or somebody who was a congressman at one time, or an assembly member at one time, or some organization. I've heard the Burbank Democratic Club has like 5 or 6 members in it. And after the election, where do they go for 4 years? They're gone. You don't even hear from them again. Why listen to these small groups of people when it's your vote, when it matters for you? Take the time. Research. It's like the state measures too. We'll talk about the state measures another time. But it just really irritates me when people just don't spend the time to learn. It's sad that we have so many people who don't pay attention to the city council meetings and all the other meetings going on, but they're going to bitch. Everybody's going to bitch about things until something happens in their neighborhood, and then they're all going to race down to city council or the school board and sit there and complain and be the NIMBYs. I get it. That's how things work. But research the candidates. Learn about the candidates. Who matches your view the closest? That's what you have to look into. And if you don't, and you're going by somebody else's word, you're basically voting on somebody's word. You're voting blind. So, that's what I have to say about endorsements. And myBurbank does not endorse candidates. We never have, we never will. Okay, we may endorse for higher offices if somebody asks, but not for city, not for Burbank, not when there's newcomers. We don't know anything about them. We don't know their history. We don't know how they're going to act in a situation. So we're not going to, just say vote for somebody because, they did a good job before. Well, you know what? Maybe there's somebody out there who could do a better job, and we don't know about them. They have no record. And yeah, we can hear them and interview them and everything else. But until they spend 4 years on the dais, then you don't know really what they're going to do. So that's why I always say, that's why myBurbank does not do official endorsements. But on the other hand, I think endorsements just don't mean anything. It's your opinion. It's your vote. It should be personal to you, and it should be important to you. Anyhow, that's my opinion. Take it for what it is. That's my comment. I get fired up on some of this stuff because I just hate to see sheep. I hate the sheep. That's why we do this show. Because hopefully you know what's going on in the city every week. Hopefully you understand what's going on in Burbank. And not just, get up in the morning, come home at night. I don't know. Do your thing. But at least if you listen to the show, maybe listen to your car on your way to work or your way home, or you watch it on the YouTube in the background or something, at least you have an idea what's going on. And if you take that much time to at least hear what's going on in the city, then take the time to figure out who you're going to vote for. Be an informed voter. And if you see these people around town, and you will see them, then talk to them. Talk to them. Once they get elected, talk to them. They're all good people. Okay? And you have a right to talk to them. Okay. Once again, off the soapbox. But it is my comment period, so there you go. Anyhow, that's it for the week that was, the week that will be. As always, please like and subscribe and consider a channel membership to help us support us here at myBurbank. Channel memberships mean a lot. When we have a new video come out, we give them to the members first so they get the first shot at them. We're going to have some really neat stuff on our channel that you can get, swag and stuff like that. But the support it really helps us. Okay? We even have a little super likes in the bottom. You can find those on the screen. Send us a couple $. It'd be great. Anything you do to support us would be helpful. We love doing this, but it is an expensive proposition and it takes time and money. So we would appreciate the support. That's it for another show for the week that was, the week that will be. This is Craig Sherwood from the Command Center of myBurbank saying thank you for watching. Thank you for listening if you're on the podcast platforms, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching the latest myBurbank video. If you have it in your heart, please consider helping us by clicking on the super thanks down below. Or even better, go to our channel and consider a membership. Your support is what keeps myBurbank going strong.